I just want to let you guys know and like update. I had a couple videos. I posted two of them to YouTube. Saying I had a coolant leak, and I was trying to find out where it was, looking at all the hose lines. I have the Ford F150 2013 EcoBoost V6 twin turbo 3.5 liter engine. I said it out of order, but that's the engine I have. And so I thought checking the turbo fittings, I was checking all the coolant lines, the connectors, everything. And I couldn't find like a little drip spot anywhere. No wet spots. Only on the compressor, the AC compressor, I saw like a little bit of wet going on, and I saw on the crankshaft. So that led me to believe that it was something on the water pump, which it was. And I'll take you guys through it. So I'll show you guys my past two videos showing what the leak looked like, and I'll show you guys exactly what I did, what I replaced. So I fixed it, and I've been driving it now for about 2 weeks, and there's been no leaking of coolant, and everything's been running good. So let's take you guys through what I was looking at. So I had so this was the first video I posted, and this is actually the AC compressor right here, and you can tell that's the belt, being not the accessory belt, but the belt connected to all the stuff that you need. Maybe that is a serpentine. I'm not sure. I'm not mechanical engineer or mechanic or any of that sort. I'm actually electrical and computer, but I like to fix stuff myself, and I like to understand how things work. So that's why I did this. But that is the AC compressor, and I was zooming in here to just to see. I saw this nut. I was like looking at it maybe, but there's no lines going in there or anything like that. So it was that like completely got thrown out of the picture of possibly being a leak spot. So yeah, this is what you see underneath, and it's just wet, full of gunk, just building up dirt, and that's all coolant and that kind of stuff, just collecting all that and making it look like that. So if you're seeing that, that's pretty much a good indicator your water pump is, shot, and you need to replace that water pump and all the other stuff I replaced. So this was another one I saw, and you could see that this is not necessarily electric power steering, but it drips down to electric power steering, and your drips are accumulating electric power steering, then hitting the ground. So if you're seeing coolant like this just being built up in these blobs and then fall into the ground, or onto electric power steering and then onto the ground, this is a great indicator that your leak is coming from the water pump. And you can see it's coolant all over the place. It's a disaster, and it's really overwhelming at first to figure out where it's coming from, because it's really hard to see, and it's just claustrophobic as fuck when you're down there. And yeah, it's not pretty, not fun job to go underneath that car. I didn't have any jack stands because broke, but I got some from Harbor Freight, and apparently they're gonna be pretty okay. I've checked them out already I'm trying to do a tire rotation, and they've worked okay. But yeah, like I said, this is the AC compressor again. You see it's just gunked up, and so if you're seeing this on the bottom after you take off that skid plate, it's most likely going to be a water pump leak. And I'll take you guys now to see what my water pump looked like and all the parts I replaced. So as you can see right here, the water pump, it's actually pretty good. If I back up a little bit, if I recorded this, yeah, everything looked really good. There's another plate that goes on the back of this, and it's a seal that goes around the whole thing, and that was really good. And there was no problems there, no leaks coming from there. As you can tell, everything still looks, nothing corroded or anything like that from water excessively being on it. But yeah, right here you can tell that there's some leak. I'll go there first, but I'll just give a little props to Ford here. The ceramic wheel right here for the pump is really good design. Obviously they had problems with seal, but that's just rubber, you can't do anything about that. But rather than being metal and being ceramic, I would give them props for that, so it can't rust out. And yeah, so this water pump is actually pretty good, except for this seal here. It hardened up, and small amounts of water were coming out from this side, because this is actually the lowest point, so gravity was just taking it, and that seal was hardened up, and it did not do its job. I probably could have replaced this seal and put this old water pump back in, and it would have worked perfectly fine. But then you got to worry about the other seal inside of that ceramic wheel I was showing you, and maybe if the bearing goes back, like, it's just a bunch of other things. So at this point, when you have everything off and all the coolant just draining all over the place, and it's a messy job, like I said before, just replace the water pump and everything else that you can while you're there. And you could see, like I was saying, just the water coming out from right there, and you could tell the discoloration of the pump at this particular spot is where that water was coming from, in coolant. So, and taking you further, I'll show you further what's going on. I replaced the O-rings at both ends of this cross member pipe going underneath the intake manifold. There were just two orange O-rings. Like, I'll put a link for everything that I bought, but I followed a video on YouTube. There was not one actually that mimicked my engine precisely, but there was one that was by this guy named, I think, Aaron Hines or something like that. I'll put a link to his video. He was really good, really descriptive and everything like that, straight to the point. But he took you through the whole process of a similar EcoBoost kind of engine, but it's a little bit different, but it's the same concept, and you just gotta, you know, kind of use your brain a little bit, because not everything is the same. You can't just, you know, derp, look at the video and repeat. It's kind of, you gotta kind of figure out for yourself, because a little bit of differences and stuff like that, as you will, if you have to carry out, you'll see. But yeah, I replaced these two O-rings at both ends of this cross member pipe. I replaced the thermostat. I replaced the thermostat housing to engine block, or to water pump. I forgot exactly the name of it, but I replaced that O-ring in there, and then I feel like I replaced the thermostat O-ring as well. So yeah, thermostat housing. There's an O-ring, a ribbed O-ring that goes, I think it's to the engine block or to the pump. I forgot exactly, but that I replaced that O-ring. And yeah, so I placed a total of 4 O-rings, the water pump, and thermostat. That's exactly what I did to fix this. Don't necessarily know if it was the water pump. 95% sure it was, but it could have easily just been one of these O-rings. But did it for just good measure, because I don't want to redo this job. And yeah, this crossover pipe, I could probably replace that too, but I was like, whatever, just go with it. I bought this truck used, and bought it on a budget, obviously, but having to do little repairs and stuff like that, it's not been that bad. But yeah, this is exactly what I replaced, and I'll show you guys a picture of the new, what it looks like with everything in. So you can tell there that point is the lowest point, and that's where any built up coolant would just fall right out, and it would land onto the crankshaft here, and it would, and you could tell on that wheel there's actually some liquid there, that thing would just leak on there and then just fly all over the place, and that's probably where it was ending up. But yeah, I replaced this hole and got a new one. It was like, I think $60 or $80 on Amazon, and it was not directly from Amazon. It was some parts store that was selling through Amazon, and it works perfectly good, no leaks. And yeah, I've been not having any problems with the car ever since in regards to coolant. So if you guys have a similar problem and this is what's going on, yeah, most likely going to be everything that I just mentioned. And like I said, I'll link the video that I followed in the description. And once again, my truck was a Ford F-150 2013 EcoBoost V6 3.5 liter twin turbo XLT. So that's exactly the model of truck I had. And yeah, have a good day.